Last night was supposed to be a celebration for Dodgers fans, the kind of night where everything falls into place and the story practically writes itself. The team jumped out to a commanding 4-0 lead. Shohei Ohtani was dealing on the mound, and it felt like Los Angeles was about to cruise to an easy win against the Diamondbacks. Everything pointed toward one of those classic games where Ohtani's brilliance carried the night, where the narrative would be all about how unstoppable he looks heading into October. But instead of celebrating, Dodger Stadium was left stunned as the bullpen imploded, and what should have been a comfortable win turned into one of the ugliest losses of the season. Ohtani did everything the Dodgers could have asked for. He gave them 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, not a single walk, and only 5 hits allowed. After nearly throwing a no-hitter in his previous outing, he once again looked locked in. The fastball was electric, the splitter was dancing, and the Diamondbacks had no real answers. When he walked off the mound, the game felt secure, almost routine. The Dodgers had a 4-run cushion, the offense had done its job, and all that was left was for the bullpen to carry it across the finish line. That's supposed to be the easy part. But lately, easy has not existed for this bullpen. The lineup provided more than enough support. Dioscandes crushed a huge home run, drove in 3 runs total, and gave the Dodgers that early boost that usually sets the tone. Ben Rortvedt chipped in as well, helping build that 4-0 advantage. Against a team like Arizona, fighting for their playoff lives, you have to keep piling on, but still, 4 runs with Ohtani on the mound felt like it should be more than enough. That's the kind of lead you expect a championship-level team to protect. Instead, what unfolded in the final innings was a meltdown that perfectly sums up why this division is still hanging in the balance. One by one, the relievers came in and failed to do their jobs. Nobody looked sharp. Nobody came in with that killer instinct that shuts down a desperate opponent. Yency Almonte, J.P. Feyereisen, Victor Gonzalez, every arm looked shaky. And then there's Tanner Scott. Dodgers fans are out of patience with him, and it's not hard to see why. He has been at the center of so many blown saves this season that you start to wonder how many more chances he can get. Last night, he came in with a 1-run lead in the 9th, exactly the kind of moment where your highest-paid reliever is supposed to lock things down. Instead, it turned into another nightmare. Arizona rallied. The bullpen collapsed again, in a game that should have been a statement when turned into a gut punch. This is not just about one loss. It's about the bigger picture, because with only 5 games left on the schedule, Los Angeles is clinging to a 1.5-game lead over San Diego. That's not the kind of breathing room you want in the final week of the regular season, especially when you've been in first place the entire year. San Diego has been taking advantage of a Brewers team that looks like it's just going through the motions. Meanwhile, the Dodgers are stuck battling a hungry Arizona club that is fighting tooth and nail to extend its season. The difference in urgency between those 2 series is obvious, and it's showing up in the standings. The Dodgers still control their own destiny. They hold the tiebreaker over San Diego, which means if the 2 teams finish with the same record, the division goes to Los Angeles. That's a huge advantage, but it only matters if the Dodgers can actually win a couple of these last few games. Had they held on last night, the magic number would already be down at 2, and this conversation would feel a whole lot different. Instead, the door is cracked open just enough for San Diego to sneak in if Los Angeles keeps stumbling. If San Diego wins this afternoon and the Dodgers drop another one in Arizona, the lead shrinks to just half a game, and suddenly we're looking at a full-blown division race heading into the weekend. That's why tonight feels massive. Blake Snell is getting the start, and there's no sugarcoating it. This is the most important game of the season so far. The Dodgers need to stop the bleeding, grab a win, and reestablish control before things spiral even further. The bullpen is gassed, the fan base is frustrated, and the pressure is building. Every inning counts now. Every decision by Dave Roberts is going to be magnified. This is where leaders step up, where veterans show their value, and where you find out if this bullpen has any fight left in it. There's no denying the talent on this roster. When Ohtani pitches the way he did last night, when the lineup puts up early runs, this team looks like a juggernaut. But baseball isn't about what you do for 6 innings. It's about finishing the job. The Dodgers are too good to be coughing up games like this in the final week of the season. If they want to avoid disaster, if they want to make sure they're not limping into October as a wild card team, they have to lock this division up by Friday. Anything less than that, and the door is wide open for San Diego to pull off a stunning late-season takeover. For Tanner Scott, the questions are only getting louder. He leads the league in blown saves. He's the highest-paid reliever in the bullpen, and yet he's become the face of this collapse. You can't help but wonder how many more times the Dodgers can run him out there. Unless he delivers something extraordinary in the playoffs, it's hard to see him back in Dodger blue next year. The frustration has reached a boiling point, and last night felt like the breaking point for a lot of fans. Now, all eyes are on tonight. Can the Dodgers put yesterday's disaster behind them? Can Blake Snell give them the kind of start that quiets the noise? And can this bullpen, even for just one night, finally protect a lead when it matters most? The answers to those questions might determine whether Los Angeles cruises into October with momentum or stumbles into a wild card battle that nobody saw coming just a month ago. The pressure on the Dodgers right now is unlike anything they have felt all year. For months, they were sitting comfortably on top of the National League West, controlling the pace of the race and giving fans the sense that another division crown was just a matter of time. But baseball has a way of humbling even the best teams, and suddenly Los Angeles finds itself looking over its shoulder, not forward. That collapse last night against Arizona was more than a bad loss. It was a reminder that momentum can flip in an instant. When you have only a handful of games left and a rival like San Diego breathing down your neck, every mistake is magnified. This week is all about managing nerves as much as managing innings. Veterans like Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts have to set the tone in the clubhouse, reminding the younger players that the sky is not falling, even if it feels like it outside the stadium. Leaders cannot let the team spiral mentally just because the bullpen has been shaky. Baseball seasons are long and brutal, and there are always stretches where the pen feels like a liability. But when those struggles happen in late September, they sting so much more. The Dodgers are still in the driver's seat, but they need to act like it before the division slips through their fingers. The road ahead is not easy. Arizona is treating every game like an elimination battle, and then Los Angeles has to head to Seattle, where the atmosphere is always intense and the Mariners have their own playoff dreams alive. These are not meaningless games where you can cruise. These are heavyweight fights against opponents that want nothing more than to spoil the Dodger season. The key will be whether the bullpen can find a way to hold leads even if they are not dominant. Sometimes it is not about perfection. It is about survival. One clean inning can change the narrative from collapse to confidence. What makes this situation so frustrating for fans is that Ohtani is giving them exactly what they hoped for. He is showing up in big moments, putting the team in position to win, and looking like the kind of ace who can carry a team deep into October. When you waste those outings, you are not just losing a game, you are wasting a rare performance from a once-in-a-generation player. That is why last night's defeat cut so deep. Ohtani walked off the mound with the Dodgers ahead 4-0, and yet they still could not finish. Those are the kinds of losses that linger, the ones that get replayed over and over if the team falls short at the end of the season. There's also the reality of what a wild card path would mean for this team. Sure, the Dodgers would still have a chance in the postseason, but everything gets harder when you're not a division winner. Suddenly, instead of lining up your rotation the way you want, you are burning pitchers just to survive the opening round. Instead of resting starters for a few days, you're asking them to grind right through into October. For a roster that has dealt with injuries and fatigue throughout the season, that is a dangerous path. The Dodgers have to know this, which is why locking up the division by the end of the week is not just a goal, it is a necessity. The bullpen situation, however, refuses to go away. Tanner Scott remains the lightning rod for criticism, and every outing feels like a test of the fan base's patience. He has the stuff to dominate, but the command comes and goes, and too often the meltdown comes at the worst possible time. A closer is supposed to provide stability. Instead, he has become a source of chaos. The Dodgers can still salvage this season, but the front office will not forget these blown saves when the offseason comes. There's a very real chance that this is Scott's final stretch in Los Angeles, unless he somehow flips the script in October and rewrites his reputation. For now, though, the focus has to be immediate. Tonight, tomorrow, the next game, each one carries playoff weight. The Dodgers cannot afford to think too far ahead, cannot afford to dwell on what San Diego is doing, and cannot afford another collapse. It is about executing in the moment. If Snell can deliver a strong start tonight, if the bullpen can find 3 clean innings, the conversation shifts instantly. Baseball is fickle like that. One win can calm a storm just as quickly as one loss can ignite panic. The fans, of course, are restless. They have seen this movie before, where late-season bullpen struggles bleed into the postseason. They know how important it is to enter October with confidence rather than doubt. That is why the boos last night were so loud, why the frustration is spilling out on social media, and why every decision feels like it carries the weight of the entire season. The Dodgers are not just fighting opponents right now. They are fighting the narrative that they cannot close. And the only way to silence that talk is to finish games the way champions are supposed to. This is the beauty and the cruelty of baseball. A season can come down to a handful of innings in late September. A lead can vanish in a heartbeat, and a division that felt locked up can suddenly be up for grabs. The Dodgers still have the power to decide their own fate, but the margin for error has vanished. Every pitch matters, every at-bat matters, and every mistake is amplified. If Los Angeles wants to avoid a collapse that would be remembered for years, the time to respond is right now. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. Baseball fans are buzzing after whispers surrounding one of the sport's brightest young stars, Juan Soto, and a potential move to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Sources close to the slugger claim that the 25-year-old phenom recently received a formal invitation to join the Dodgers roster, a franchise known for its championship pedigree and star-studded lineup. The mere notion of Soto donning the iconic blue and white sent shockwaves through social media, with fans instantly imagining the long ball potential and highlights that could light up Dodger Stadium. Yet, according to insiders, Soto's response was as measured as it was surprising. When approached with the idea, he allegedly said, "It's not my time there right now." The remark has left analysts and fans alike scratching their heads. Why would one of the most talented hitters in baseball hesitate to join a team so loaded with playoff history and star power? Some speculate that Soto may be waiting for the right moment, perhaps eyeing a franchise where he could command a leadership role or position himself for maximum postseason impact. Others suggest he may simply be weighing lifestyle factors, team dynamics, or even long-term contracts before committing to a move that could define his career. The Dodgers, of course, are no strangers to high-profile pursuits. Over the years, they've courted big-name players, hoping to blend them into a championship formula. Soto's potential arrival would certainly add another chapter to that legacy. But for now, it seems the story is still very much in flux. Team insiders insist that while negotiations could surface in the future, Soto's comment indicates he's in no rush to make such a headline-grabbing decision. Rumors like these, of course, travel fast in the baseball world. From casual chatter in locker rooms to late-night Twitter speculation, the idea of Juan Soto in Dodger blue has already captured imaginations. Fans are already imagining the fireworks, the tape measure homers, clutch hits, and headline-making plays that could elevate the Dodgers to new heights. But for now, Soto's own words suggest patience, strategy, and timing are at play. As the baseball world waits with bated breath, one thing is certain. Any move involving Juan Soto will be impossible to ignore, and when the time is right, the impact could be monumental. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.